Hello and welcome to the account structure video. Let's start with the slides and then I'll move on to how we perfect our structure offline in Excel before uploading. So starting with the campaigns, what we want to do is divide the keywords you've selected through your keyword research into campaigns. Now they have to follow a theme of some sort to enable you to easily identify where your sort of conversions are coming from. It helps with regards to attributing budget at certain levels. So our examples here, you might break down your campaigns by certain products and services, or it might be broken down by the locations in which you're targeting those particular campaigns, the language that you're targeting. It might be because it's for your brand terms. Also remarketing should be on that list as well. The most popular keywords in terms of search volume, and also sort of an offers campaign. So reason for doing that is simply because the ad groups that will sit within your campaigns will be relevant to the theme, but also, as I said, it's about budget allocation as well. So you may decide that your brand terms convert higher than anything else, and therefore you should be able to allocate more budget to the brand searches than to your offers campaign, as an example. If you had them all in the same campaign, your daily budget would be spread across all of your keywords, and you wouldn't therefore be putting enough emphasis on the keywords that convert best for you. So it's a case of getting granular and thinking about budget attribution and how you can put these into a reasonable theme. So moving on to your ad groups, you're dividing the keywords within your themed campaigns into more groups. So these are your ad groups, and each ad group should contain a modified broad match, a phrase match, and an exact match of the main keyword within it. If there are very close variations of the ad group's keyword that are complementary, we would just add these in. And it just saves overcomplicating the account when there's potentially very low search volume on a keyword that's almost identical. It's important to point out that this is stage one of getting your AdWords account right, being able for you to identify where your conversions are coming from properly. And once you start getting that data and optimizing based on that data, your account is going to move around anyway. You're going to start splitting the poorest converting keywords off into their own groups. You're going to want to keep the history of the ones that have performed well and keep them just on their own in contained groups and campaigns, and all this will naturally evolve. We want to be moving on to ads. So when you have a campaign based on a certain theme, you've then got all of your ad groups within it. You will then be able to create an ad that's super relevant to the keywords within that particular ad group. You'll see an example of this in a minute with our Excel version, but for us, if we were sort of bidding on AdWords training, for instance, we would make sure the keywords AdWords training are in the headline, they would be in the description, and it would be a very compelling ad for someone to click on if that is what they've searched for. So we want our ads to be very, very relevant, and by doing that you're going to have Google placing the keywords that the person has searched on in bold in your ad, so it will stand out even further. Include some calls to action in there, and you're good to go. Now, this is a sort of example as to how most accounts look. There's one or two campaigns, and within those campaigns there's either one or there's hundreds of ad groups. The main problem is that there are way too many keywords in a particular ad group. The amount of keywords in there would mean that the ad can't be extremely relevant to every single keyword in there, so it dilutes the effect of your ad. Because if we were to throw in a keyword into our AdWords training ad group, which was AdWords management, for instance, then it wouldn't make sense to serve the people who have searched for AdWords management with an AdWords training ad. It has a knock-on effect with the account. It's not a good way of doing it. So what we propose, and this is what we recommend, is to have a campaign with your selected ad groups within it, which are very relevant to the campaign subject. And within that ad group you will have just like 3 keywords, maybe 4 or 5, depending if there's something very close to it. But by doing it in this way, it means that you can also have you're going to want ideally 2 ads per ad group for split testing reasons. We'll go on to that in a minute. But you can see by looking at this structure that you're going to have very tightly themed ad groups within your themed campaign. Your ad's going to be relevant, you're going to get higher click-through rates, and you're going to be able to understand in much clearer detail as to which of your keywords do convert best, and it's not skewed by the fact that you're just serving bad, irrelevant ads. So what we like to do is prepare our account structures within Excel, and it's a really good way of visualizing how the account looks, how everything ties together, and it's something that we recommend you doing as well. It does make it a little bit more time consuming, but I think from seeing this example, it might be something that you'll want to consider doing yourselves. Okay, so we're over in Excel now, and we can see the keywords that we've researched. First of all, we want to strip out anything that's not necessary at this point. I want to keep the keywords themselves and the search volume, but everything else I'm happy to lose at this point. Maybe you could save this as a different version as your main keyword research, but these are the keywords that you want to be left with. First thing I'll be doing is selecting the words by a theme. So I'm going to take the AdWords training theme first of all. So I will probably take these keywords here. I'll then take management keywords, which I'm going to put here. Management. Okay, anything a bit miscellaneous I'll put in a different pile for the time being, and I'll be working through this list to make sure that I'm getting the right terms into my themes. So I'm going to do this on film so you can see the exact process that I'll be taking. Now it looks like this is going to end up in about 3 main campaigns. We've got the online side of things here, so online course, online videos. Okay. Training. Okay. What I'll do, I'm going to carry on with this process, and I'll come back to the video in a second. Okay, here we are. So I've broken the keywords down by theme. So I've got training keywords here, management keywords, some sort of miscellaneous searches, and online based training searches as well. Now these are going to form the basis of our campaigns. So let me just skip on another stage, and I'll show you what this starts to look like. Okay, so I've now got my AdWords training campaign, my online training campaign, management, agency, and I've started adding a negatives campaign list as well. Now I've already started on splitting up the AdWords training campaign into separate ad groups. So this here is one ad group, so they're represented by the blue bar, one ad group containing 2 ads for split testing. You'll see that I've got the search volume to the right of the main keyword, and I've put in a modified broad, a phrase match, and an exact match into each ad group. So rolling down, another ad group here about AdWords training, another ad group here at Google AdWords training courses, AdWords training course, PPC training. Now all of these I'm happy for them to sit in our AdWords training campaign. Now I've also created some ads, so these ads are going to be fired when someone types in Google AdWords training. So I've got Google AdWords training in the headline, I've got Google AdWords training in the description, and I've used AdWords training in the display URL as well. I've also got countdown character limitations here. So with the headline you're only allowed 25 characters, with the descriptions you allow 35, and 35 again for the display URL. So this keeps me on track. I know that these ads will get accepted when I go to load them into the account. So a variation, my second ad, so I'm going to test maximize your AdWords ROI against get more customers, basically as a test. Here with our AdWords training keywords, I've gone Google AdWords training, and I've also experimented with AdWords training workshops. Again down here we've got AdWords training courses, so I'm getting the word courses in. This one, it wasn't going to fit in our headline, so I've gone for Google AdWords training, and on the variation AdWords training courses. Now I should be putting in courses here into the display URL, because we're already using AdWords training for the other one. So AdWords courses. And you can see how this goes on. There's slight variations on each one to make it a reasonable test for us to then decide on the most effective ad to use. We've got PPC training, so PPC training courses, and then testing whether people prefer PPC training courses or PPC workshops, training workshops, as a alternative. So we will soon be able to find out which one works best. I've got my other keywords in here, so I would be taking my ads, and a way of doing this quickly, I would copy, insert cells, and keep doing that across these keywords, and then obviously amend accordingly. So that is how we put together our offline workbooks. The next step for you will be to put your keyword research into this structure. Make sure you're following the granular theme that you need to, and in the next video we'll talk about how to upload this into the AdWords platform.